Yeah. Make you into a movie star here.
Yeah, or something.
Oh, yeah. Ah, reaction motor, wow. Oh, you've got some nice stuff here.
Yeah, that's the book that's the overhaul manual
Ah.
for the first engine that we put in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
For the 99s?
no, this was
This for the
the
11s?
first engine were the 11s.
Yeah.
And
So this
these-
is for the 11s.
yeah.
Ah.
We engineer by the name of Jerome Brandt
Uh-huh.
was a project engineer on redoing this manual from the
Uh-huh.
original Dash 11 manual from Reaction Motors.
Okay.
And I kept it because he did give me some credit for helping him with it, so I decided to keep it.
That's always nice.
But he was a nice guy, and he no longer is in the valley now. Otherwise, he would be an ideal person to talk to. And I really don't know where he went. He retired from the Air Force
Yeah.
and moved out of the state.
Ah, okay. This is, I've seen this one a long time ago. Don't have a copy of that one myself, but, yeah. Oh, yes. This was a heck of an engine. Boy, it lasted forever.
Yeah, and it would still be going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, definitely never seen one of these.
yeah. First time I don't know if there's any more of them existing or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a very good engine. NASA had a lot to do with updating it from a 6,000 pound thrust engine to a 8,000 pound. But
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
so when it was running in the 15s, we had two of them in there, and they were
Yeah.
both running at 8,000 pounds each. So
You're talking about the four chambers.
the four
equaling,
chambers, each
right.
one of them was
Yeah.
running 2,000 at that time.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
The original rated at 1,500, I believe it was.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. What was, went through the X-15, and then, of course, some of them were used on the lifting body program. Were any of them used after that?
I see, the last ones that we used was on the X-24. That was one of the lifting, the last lifting body,
Uh-huh.
I guess it was. I can't remember it being used anywhere after that.
Yeah,
I think that was just about the last one.
yeah. Yeah, it had
A few of them are probably still around in the archive someplace.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple out at the museum at Edwards
Yeah.
and places like that. And I think the Air Force Museum has some back at Wright Pat and places like that, too.
I think Smithsonian's got one of the, I think they
Yes.
got the original, they came out in different dash numbers. I think the
Yeah.
first one was a pressurized engine, so
Uh-huh.
it really, when they broke the speed barrier, it was done with a pressurized unit, it wasn't done with a pump. And
Oh, he made a thick report,
pump.
didn't he?
yes, he did. It would take a lot of its pictures though, so.
Oh, it's,
He wrote to a lot of the vendors and wrote to NASA and the subcontractors and got a good grade on it, so.
yeah, even got extra credit on
Yeah,
it, too. Yeah,
yeah.
+10, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. March 1972.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's an engineer now. He works for Boeing
yeah?
Satellite Division.
Oh,
He used to work for Hughes.
where's he at? Down at L.A.?
Yeah, down at the, down near TRW, down the airport,
Oh, yeah.
the old Hughes facility.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a friend who used to work there. And,
Yeah.
I know the TRW one down there toward Redondo, that's actually right next door to the high school I graduated from,
Oh.
so, which is no longer there because TRW wanted it, so they tore down my high school. Yeah.
Yeah. You a
What?
native Los Angeles?
Actually, I was born and raised in Upland.
Oh.
Yeah, so,
My
yeah,
wife,
Southern
she was
California.
born in, and she was raised in LAC.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's a picture I don't ever remember seeing before. It's pretty cool. A little cutaway there with the. Wow, that's pretty neat. Well, this is a heck of a little report he put together.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, I'd love to get a copy of his
I
report.
think
and read what
any
he
of
had to
this
read.
that you want to borrow,
Yeah.
feel free to do so, and then if you can send it back to me, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, we certainly
Yeah.
appreciate that. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially this I've definitely got to read.
Yeah.
This is great. Oh wow, that's a
That
heck
was one of
a
the
shot.
first engines that the first pictures they took of the thing was running at night, and that was taken at in New Jersey.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
from
I say their facility back there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a heck of a shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. We always like to fire the thing down to test stand. We always like to run at night because it was really a nice looking thing,
Oh, I can imagine.
and we could invite our families down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so at
Oh,
those
that was
times,
nice.
you know, my wife would bring the two boys down, and we'd just stay there until we got it all done.
Oh, very cool.
I got it. The people that we worked for in that program was just absolutely outstanding. The main thing is that they'd have worked for nothing if they had to. You know, it wasn't one of those things that we considered a job anymore. It was just a pleasure.
I've heard that from a lot of the guys.
Oh,
on
just
this,
a
yeah.
pleasure. I
Yeah.
just couldn't.
Yeah.
I was down there for 3 days and nights one time and never did come home. I just, and in those times you had to ask for overtime, so we never got overtime all the time, but we just had to stay. It was going to be a late firing, and it was close, like twilight or something like that. Everybody would stick around. They'd just stay around just to watch.
Yeah, yeah. Look, how loud was it if you were out there?
Extremely loud.
Pretty loud.
Yeah. We they said you should have been 1,500 feet away, but we probably got. Maybe we got 500 feet away from it.
Yeah.
But if we were working, we would go ahead and we'd be in the blockhouses and stay in there.
Yeah.
But just to stay out of the noise.
Yeah.
And every time and then the wind would shift and some of those ammonia fumes would come drifting around, you know, and that'd make you sick. So,
Yeah.
but it was just a pleasure.
Yeah.
But it was loud. It was
Yeah.
extremely loud, and you could hear it all over Edwards Air Force Base. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we didn't run so much at night. I don't know. But,
Wake everybody up out
oh
there.
yeah. But it was an extremely. It was challenging.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Most
great.
enjoyable job I ever had.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about your background. What did you do before you came on the X-15 program?
Well, I'm originally from Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay. Nice area.
When I got out of high school, I decided to join the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
I actually tried to join the Navy first. I got in the Naval Reserve, and but I wanted to be in the submarine corps, and I wore glasses, so they wouldn't let me in the submarine corps. So I kind of drifted out of the reserve and went down to join the Army.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Army and the Air Force are right next to each other, and the Air Force recruiter got me before the Army got me. So I ended up working for in the Air Force. But
That's interesting. Is that you and I have sort of a similar history. I originally wanted to go into the Navy submarine service.
Yep.
And now I never actually pursued it. I didn't realize I wore glasses also. I wouldn't have been able to actually make it. I ended up going in the Air Force and worked on missiles and stuff instead. But,
yeah, they were a little picky then. They're not as picky now.
yeah.
You can wear glasses and
Yeah.
all sorts of things. But then I went to basic training at Lackland like everybody else in
Oh
the Air
yeah,
Force.
lovely place.
And I got sent up to Dallas Aviation School for A&E training
Oh, what year was
in
this?
Dallas, Texas. This is 51.
Okay.
And then after we left there, they sent us up to Chanute Air Force Base to go to the 3350 school. I guess that was B-29 engines. But I happened to be going out there one day, and there was a big old bulletin board there. They were asking for volunteers for the rocket propulsion school. They had just started. The first class hadn't even gone through.
Yeah.
So I got in the second class, I guess it was, number 2 class. I put in for it because
Yeah.
I really didn't want to work on.
Yeah.
Because these guys were telling me how cold it was when you had to work in those things on the outside. They said none of them are stationed in warm weather. It's always in the cold weather. So I decided to go ahead and volunteer, and I did. And I went to rocket school. Of course, after we got out of rocket school, they didn't know what to do with us.
Okay.
Because they taught us about cruise missiles, and which I didn't even know existed then.
Yeah.
They taught us about the basics of rocket engines and intercontinental missiles, but none had ever been built.
Yeah.
So we just got all theory, you know.
Yeah.
But, so they sent me to, where did they send? They sent me to McGuire Air Force Base up in New Jersey. I was in the 2nd Fighter Squadron up there, working on F-94As. It was in the Air Defense Command at that time.
Okay.
So the reason they sent us there finally, I found out, is they were going to get F-94Cs, which actually carried 2.75 rockets, and he thought with my training that would really help out. That's armament, guys. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So I was there about a month. And they finally wised up and said, you know, these guys don't belong here.
Yeah.
We knew nothing about, we really hadn't been trained. We'd gone through the A&E school, but we really hadn't been trained on the job for anything. So they said, we have got to get those guys out of there. So there were 3 of us up there at that time. And so they didn't know where to send us, and so they gave us a choice. Holloman Air Force Base, Patrick Air Force Base, or Edwards Air Force Base.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know where any of these places. I didn't know where any of these places were. So I went ahead and I questioned the guy that was going to send us out, and I asked him. I said, "Well, where are they at?" He said, "I had lived in Florida for 2 years when I was a child, and I didn't like the bugs down there." So,
Oh,
so I said, "Well, I don't think I want to go down there."
yeah.
And they told me, "Well, I think the closest place in Holloman Air Force Base was." I don't know. I can't even remember the big city, but it wasn't very big.
Probably Las Cruces.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, where was Edwards Air Force Base?
Alamogordo.
Well, that's about, the guy that told me, he said, that's about 50 miles north of Hollywood.
Ah,
And I said, that's where I want to go.
there you go. There you go.
Not a doubt in my mind.
That's right.
California, here I
Oh,
come.
yeah.
So that's where I ended up, Edwards Air Force Base, and I got there in December of '51.
Okay.
And I stayed. I was reassigned there, or assigned there to the propulsion branch, and which was mostly jet engines.
Okay.
But the Air Force had a small shop there, and the Air Force was overhauling and maintaining the XLR-11 engines out of the X-1s,
Yeah.
and we did the work for NASA, basically, because they had all the aircraft and we had the engines. I stayed there until for 4 years, or 3.5 years, whatever was left of my enlistment. Left there in '55. As far as leaving the Air Force,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything but replace myself.
Yeah.
They offered me a job to come back, so I took it. I got married a month before I got out of the service,
Yeah.
so I just moved. All I did was change shirts, I guess.
There you go.
And I stayed there until I worked in the propulsion branch as a technician until about 1958, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And during that interim, we worked on the X-2. It had the X-2 engines, the B-47 Rado rockets, and we had the F-94As, which were a Rado takeoff unit, experimental type thing. And we had all those aircraft going for us, and then all of a sudden, after the X-2, we lost it. We found out that we had a lot of rocket engines, but we didn't really have anything to put them in. So the X-1s were still flying.
Yeah.
You had, I forgot what one, I guess the D model was about then. They were getting ready for the E model, which was one of the original pressurized units. And they switched propellants, and it only went, I think it only flew one time.
Yeah.
I think that's when they found out that John McKay couldn't get out of with an escape capsule, not a capsule, but a seat. He couldn't make it out, so no other pilot could either. So they decided, I guess, safety reasons, that they weren't going to fly that anymore.
Yeah.
So I stayed there. We knew the X-15 was coming on, at least we had heard about it.
Yeah.
And it finally came along in about, 1959, I guess it got there.
Yeah.
In the interim, I had switched over to quality assurance. They offered me a job in the quality section. And that's when inspection really started. They started paying attention to things going wrong, or having somebody look over somebody else's shoulder. And I stayed there until, when did I leave? I left the shop there right after the 15 program ended. And then I went to work for on the engine side of the house, the jet engine side.
Okay.
And I stayed there as an inspector until I started to go to work for the Air Force Contract Management Division out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. But we had a detachment at Edwards. So I took a job in quality assurance for them, monitoring contractors. So I monitored contracting for the B-1. I was on the X-15 when we first got it. Not the X-15, the F-15.
F-15.
F-15. And they offered me a job in 1986 to take over the Quality Assurance Division down in Melbourne, Australia, for the Navy.
Yeah.
And so the Navy offered me the job, and I went and took the thing. So.
Well, that must have been an adventure. Yeah.
Well, it was very nice. My wife didn't go with me because she was going to be, she was about getting ready to retire from the Bank of America.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't want to stop it.
Yeah.
So she was going to come down later. But when I got down there, working with Australians is, at the best, is a little bit hard. Understanding the language is a little bit different too. They talk English. I mean, English is down there, but all the Englishmen I knew were born in Ireland, so
Yeah.
they had an Irish brogue on them that you couldn't understand. I used to have interpreters. Don't know what the guy was saying. He was talking English, but it was really bad.
Yeah.
And Australia being so unionized that it was difficult for the Navy to really get to do their job. We were, the Navy was down there helping the Australians build F-18 aircraft for their Air Force, not the Navy, but the Air Force.
Yeah.
And in the building of these things, we only had to put out a plane a month. They only wanted 72 planes. They had more planes than they had pilots. Every time they get a pilot trained, they'd send him, he'd quit and go to work for Qantas or Southern, the airlines. He'd work for the airlines.
Yeah.
But finally, I decided that maybe I just wasn't the place down there. I couldn't stay busy enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay busy enough. So I was always thinking about home. But
Yeah.
the only way I could get back home was to retire. So I retired.
Yeah.
So in 1987, I returned after 55. And I turned 55. And at the conclusion of that, I had, I think they gave me 37 years of service. So that's what I had when I got out. And since that time, I have been doing everything that I wanted to do.
That's good. Yeah. Have you done any
Never
work
regret
with consulting or anything like that still with aircraft at all, or?
No, I took a job for, I came back, I said I didn't do anything. I came back and I did, McDonnell Douglas guy got a hold of me one day and asked me to come to work for them. So I says, well, where at? I'm down at Douglas, because they were building a brand new trainer for the Air Force. And I told them, I said, well, okay, I'll go down there. And they offered me pretty good money. But as I got down there, I found out that I worked more with the commercial side than I did with the military side. And they had a lot of quality programs. That's why they were trying to get somebody down there to help,
Yeah.
But their chief of quality he falls under manufacturing.
Okay.
Dumbest setup in the world.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it ended up that at that time, you couldn't get them to change. You had to get manufacturing to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. The quality was willing, but quality couldn't do anything if the
Yeah.
big guy is, he's responsible for getting them out the door.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So after that, I never did anything. I used to go out to the base all the time and talk to the guy out there runs the museum,
Oh, Doug Nelson?
Doug Nelson.
Yeah.
And I gave him, in fact, I gave him a lot of my X-15 stuff.
Oh.
I had two of the retro rockets, the attitude control rockets.
Oh, yeah.
And I gave them to them. So anyway, I've been doing that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know John McTeague.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I've got I ran across his name. The lifting body program got a national award, and John McTeague received that award for the whole entire program over here. So I ran across his name the other day. As I recall, he and his son used to be quite backpackers.
Yes, yeah, he talked about that. Yeah, I just talked to him, an hour ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but he had one of the most interesting artifacts that I've seen anybody that's held on to. You said you had the attitude rockets. He has one of the landing gear. He has one of the skids.
Oh my goodness!
It weighs about what, 80 pounds or something. Or, he calls it his paperweight, but it's a heck of a paperweight. Yeah.
I don't know what airplane he got that off of.
Yeah.
Probably the one that went down. But
Yeah. Well, he said they only lasted about 4 flights before they'd replace them. So there was
yeah,
quite a few of them laying
that-
around.
Yeah, that lake bed. There's a lot of friction on that thing. It's like
Yeah.
grinding them around now.
Oh yeah. He said he found that one out in a scrap yard one time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
picked it up out of there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So you don't have any artifacts yourself now? You've given them all to Doug, or?
I give them all to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool.
I finally got, I felt that the museum was already gonna be built up, and I think the museum will eventually get up as soon as this terrorist bit gets,
Yeah.
people get used to it or do something with it, but.
Yeah. Well, they started to offer tours and stuff out there again, so people can
Yes,
get back
yes,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had, I used to like to go out there to the museum, and I talked to Doug, and I do know he's got the old PSTS out there, that and I told him that anytime they got ready to do something with it, just let me know, you know.
Yeah.
So I could come
Oh,
in.
I'd love to see that restored and stuff, yeah.
It shouldn't be that I know it's probably in rough shape looks, but you know, the PSTS, there really wasn't a hell of a lot to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just, you know, basically tankage and stuff, and unless you were gonna get the thing to run again, you know, which I don't think they should do, but,
Yeah. That might be all
you know,
they
you
do.
wouldn't have to, you could put it together without the gaskets and
Yeah.
stuff and do a lot of mock-up in it, but,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I saw it out of the, in the yard a couple months ago, and, yeah, the one side with all the gauges and stuff, most of the gauges are gone, but other than that, it looked like it was in pretty good shape, so, yeah. Yeah.
Care for something to drink?
Oh, sure, a glass of water would be great.
Well,
Thank you.
sure.
There you go.
Yeah, and so,
Oh, yeah.
but it's a real picnic, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. It was very cool. Love your dog there. We used to raise dogs when I was a kid. We used to raise collies, actually, so that's,
We don't even know what that is. That dog there was, he was, the kids, the grandkids found a plastic bag with 6 puppies in it, I guess it was.
Out in the desert.
Oh,
In the
boy.
desert, and that was one of them.
who could do that
Yeah.
to an animal?
I don't know.
All the puppies lived, and they found homes for all of them.
Oh, that's good.
He was there with
That's
some of his friends riding his go-kart. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Wow.
They found out, I mean, I'm taking care of it for my son, but I don't think my son will ever get it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we adopted a cat, or he adopted us. Yeah, I was saying our condos there, but he was basically abandoned by his parents, so he came and spent time with us. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you like living with a guy who worked on a really exciting airplane program, helped put us
Yeah.
into space. Yeah, yeah.
She's got an interesting story that I told you we go down at night, and we could, the family members could go down there too, you know. And at that time, there was no security. You could cross the runways and taxiways and stuff like that.
Ah.
She was bringing the 2 boys down one time for a night flight, for a night run. And she got lost on the taxiway, the one that goes from NASA to the main runway. And she was running up and down that taxiway trying to find out how to get across to go over to the rocket test facility. And finally, security police stopped her. Naturally, she was wandering around the flight line, so they stopped her, and she told them where she wanted to go. And they took her over there. And, let her off.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
They were wondering where,
parked the cars.
when I come up to security, please, what happened to me?
Yeah.
What did you do?
And, so anyway,
Nowadays, you'd be stuck in jail for 12 years, and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the same. At the same time, he was asking me how noisy was it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, even though we parked way out on the flight line, away from the facility, I told the kids that, you know, whenever it start to run, you know, I knew exactly when it was going to fire, so they could go ahead and cover their ears, you know.
no, yeah.
And they did that, and I wasn't working that night. We just went out there. I'd not
You stayed
inside. I just came out because I wasn't working, but I stayed. And Jackie turned around, she said, "You better tell your son to stop running, so take his fingers out of his ears." And my oldest bottom, he still had his fingers in there. It was so noisy, I guess he didn't realize the noise had abated, so.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, it's like now, when I was in the Air Force myself, I worked on missiles that were carried on the B-52, the SRAM missile. So I was out there a lot on the flight line with the engine run-ups and stuff like that. Now the X-15 was carried by the B-52, and of course those engines, when you get those 8 engines spooled up, they're pretty loud. could you compare the noise from, say, an LR99 run to a B-52? Is it louder, about the same, any kind of, or you just
As
can't
far
compare?
as I know, that the 99 engine overpowered anything that I ever heard.
Okay. That pretty well sums it up.
It's just a phenomenal thing that anybody can control that much of an explosion. As far as I was, because the people say, well, it just runs, and runs like heck. It's blowing up, and they're just controlling it.
That's right. Controlling the direction out of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I-
didn't do that one time, yeah.
I don't know whether it would. I had never heard that had anything comparison like that, but it's the loudest thing I'd ever heard.
Okay,
Yeah. Even the engines that used to run over on Lehman Ridge there.
yeah.
Those over there they were much bigger engines that they ran, but I'm not saying that they were any louder than that 99 engine.
yeah.
The 99 engine just had a really high pitch to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. Were you out there at the test stand when the number 3 blew?
No, I was at rocket school back in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that we got to film before the Air Force got there.
Yeah.
Because they sent the thing. They had the reaction motors people there, and they sent the film back, so we got to see it back there the next morning. Next morning, they flew it back, and we saw it the next morning.
Yeah.
We were in class. We could only see it one time. They were not rerunning anything
Yeah.
of it because they didn't have any. They hadn't ran any duplicates off yet.
Yeah.
No, I was back there, and that was really too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was too bad or not. It's probably a good thing then. Thank goodness it was in the test cell. And another thing is, the good thing is it wasn't in flight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think really slowed that program down for a long time because we did a lot of testing on that oxygen vent valve after that for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, John McTeague I talked to was in charge of the rebuild on that, putting that back together again. Yeah, that was a heck. It's like basically it was no longer aircraft 3; it was like aircraft 3.5. Yeah, yeah, definitely it's its own aircraft there. I know they use that film so many places. Of course, you see it in different documentaries and stuff and whatever. But they also used it in the movie X-15.
Yep.
Did you ever see that one?
Yep.
With Charles Bronson and all that. Oh yeah. What did you
Yep.
think of the Hollywood version of X-15?
Well, it was glamorized, of course, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
What the heck? I didn't think it was that bad. But
There you go. Everybody that I talk to that seen this film, they just hate it. They hate it. And I'm like you. It's like, it was filmed at that time. That's the
Yeah.
type of thing that was done at that time. I thought it captured the program. Sure, they're going to dramatize it and whatever, but yeah, we'll go. I'm glad I meet somebody else who,
Yeah.
who likes the film. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one in the
Yeah.
universe. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
That was we did lose 101 engine. We lost one engine out of the test cell. Just the one.
Yeah.
But it was nothing wrong with the engine.
Yeah.
They had we were experimenting at that time with the main valves, main propellant valve. They always had an oxygen lead on it, so that the oxygen would get there. First of all, they gave it an oxygen lead because the fuel had to go through all the chambers and everything, all the chamber to get ready for cooling down the chamber while it was running before it ever got into the injector. And then we started with a 10-degree LOX lead we were working with, and we stuck that valve was in there, and we were only supposed to have a 6-degree LOX lead. And no one caught it. No one, and of course the engine caught it.
Yeah. It knew.
Yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting program. Interesting. But like I say, I'd have worked for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time there.
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, it's the thing I hear from so many people. It was like a family out there, and it's so much different than anything that's being run today.
Oh, yeah.
You get away with doing stuff. If you needed to fix it, you fixed it. Today you got to go through committees and proposals and whatever. And yeah.
It was I guess it was just time. Yeah, I know all of our friends, we got very tight. Yeah. We were very tight. I mean, people that, under normal circumstances, and then maybe in the work day to day, you probably wouldn't even spend lunch with.
Yeah.
God, those days you spend the evening with them, just
Yeah.
spend the night.
Yeah. Everybody used to go out to like Juanita's or someplace
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I heard that's gone now. It's
Well, they call it Juanita's Indian Lunch, but I don't know. I haven't been out there for 100 years. I don't even know if that place is still there or not.
yeah. Is it in Rosemont?
It was in Rosemont, almost right there, Rosemont Boulevard and Sierra Highway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a gas station there now. Yeah.
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 It was on the, would have been the southwest corner.
Okay.
In that whole area there, that little
Okay.
area there.
So that's right across the street from where the gas
Yeah.
station is. Yeah.
And it was, because Ma Green's was further out. That was around the X-1 times when she was busy. But it was right across the street almost from the old North Gate.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, Pancho Barnes's place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you used to go out there?
I went there when I was first in the when I first got there. I wasn't much of a drinker then. I wasn't much of a drinker at any time, really. But we'd go out there just to have something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and I think the last time we went out there it was gone. All the buildings were gone. The only thing was left was the fireplace.
Yeah.
And they still have that picnic out there,
Yeah.
that barbecue. But
Yeah.
everything is all gone there
Oh,
just
yeah.
about now. But
Yeah.
it was an interesting place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anyone ever did find out what happened to her place when she claimed the Air Force bombed it or something.
Probably Chuck Yeager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell me, I don't know, walk me through a regular day out there. What would be your typical day out there?
Well, we used one thing. We always carpooled. Most all of us at that time carpooled, and the people, all the carpool members, just about in groups, worked in the same area. I happened to be carpooling with the instrumentation. It was instrumentation guy and a couple of test stand guys, mechanics. It was 4 or 5 of us usually in a carpool, and we'd probably leave Lancaster here probably in the neighborhood of 6:30 in the morning. Try to get there somewhere around 7:30. And at that time, there wasn't any problem about anybody being late or not being there because if they would all show up, even if they were dying. I think some of the time problems we had is that we would find ourselves sick on the job because somebody came in sick and gave it to us. But and we usually usually had 3 shifts going. And first thing we do is find out what they did on the shift before us. And we would rotate shifts. I'd work night shift sometimes, swing shift, and then regular day shifts. Most of the time, until halfway through the program, I was the only inspector, and I was a full inspector on that program. So I'd be responsible for signing off as the work got accomplished on my shift. But one of the things I'd have to do is to make sure that the work that was done on the prior shift had been signed off too. Because if it hadn't been, then we'd just go ahead and check it over and if necessary redo it again to make sure that it got done.
Yeah.
And then we would have a regular work schedule. We had probably at one time, we probably had 4 or 5 engines going all the time. They would, we'd rotate them in different states. And we did the complete overhauls there too, as well as just the maintenance. The interesting thing about it is that all of the tubing, once you took a piece of tubing off of it, you'd have to use it as a mock-up for the tubing that's going back if you on, because there just wasn't any. All the tubes were hand bent and hand fitted, and they just had to fit.
Yeah.
They all had to be clamped in the proper place to make sure that these things, when they originally test the engine, you get the flight worthiness out of them.
Yeah.
They take pictures of it and all these prints and everything, and this is the way it's got, all of them have got to be
Right.
for vibration purposes and everything else. So what you do is you look at the picture to make sure the clamp is the same way
Yeah.
on that engine going out
Yeah.
into the airplane as it, so everything had to be the same. So, but we had some good guidance, I say that for it. And we always had tech reps there. The whole program, they always had a tech rep that would help us out.
Yeah.
And if a change was going to come in, he'd know about it first and warn us, and then we'd go ahead and follow through on that. But one of the things we do during the day too, because if something came in for a change, we wanted to make sure that morning that everybody got it. Because otherwise, some of the engines that were being worked on would have one thing done to them and the other ones wouldn't have. Now, paperwork was a big thing. It was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because not only did we have to keep track of the engines themselves, I kept track of every valve that ever went on it. I had a big file that had the history of the valve, from the original place where it came from, what engine it came off of, whether it was a spare,
Uh-huh.
because we had tech orders that would come out, and we'd have to change that thing. Maybe we'd have to change the seals into something like that, and it wouldn't be going to be on an engine anywhere.
Yeah.
But you'd have to take that one thing and make sure that it was accomplished before you did it.
Yeah.
So we did, basically, the first thing we did when we got there in the morning, we did a paperwork check. It's just what was done last and what has to be done today. If there was going to be an engine run that day, the maintenance shop had to shut down
Yeah.
prior to going out for the test. So that gave everybody a little bit of a leeway, a rest, you might say, because the engine run lasts a couple hours probably. By the time you got it all loaded and cleared the area out and
Yeah.
fired and got back in again.
Yeah.
So, but we only ran, I would like to say we ran every day, but we didn't. We only ran maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah. Was there any time you did 2 runs in a day? Could you-
Yes,
Yeah.
we've done 2 runs a day, yeah. It, what is it, it takes so long to service, and then it takes so long to get rid of it
Yeah.
after you jettison it all overboard.
Right.
And the cleanup factor that you go in, you check it after you run, before you run. It's just, a rocket engine isn't like an automobile engine. It
Yeah.
just takes a long time to clean it up afterwards and beforehand. You would think they're nice and clean. Basically, a rocket engine, when it's running, has no moving parts, you know. If you got a pump on it, of course, and the
Yeah.
pump is running, but the engine itself doesn't have any parts.
Yeah.
Once they put it in position for a run status,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Like a piston going up and down. So you wouldn't think that you'd have to do too much to them, but there's quite a few things you do. Things come loose.
Yeah. All the vibration, yeah.
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 And then we'd, after, sometimes we would, if we were going to do 2 runs the same day, the first run would just be to a short one where they could check the data to make sure that the thing is
Yeah.
within, it looks like it's going to run right.
Yeah.
Usually the first time we run after an overhaul, we do it for fuel mixture ratio, a test, so that we can change the orificing and make sure we got the right mixture going. And the tech reps usually did that until later in the program, then I got to do it. It was just strictly a mathematical thing. We had to read the numbers.
Yeah.
It wasn't any big deal about it. But after I would work both on the test stands after the engine's in, and then I would be in the shop too. And they would just call me when they needed me, or when they thought they needed me. But in reality, those guys were so good, they didn't need me. There was a few things I probably caught that might have slipped through and caused a little bit of harm, but they're basically those guys that worked on those things, I can honestly say, were some of the finest mechanics I'd ever ran across. And there wasn't anything halfway about them. The guys would actually just do their best to go ahead. And I think they really had some pride in their work. You know, it reflected upon them, so they really had a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I remember one time I gave a guy by the name of Delbert Young. He was ready to go home, but we had to safety wire the big banjo fitting, which was the exhaust for the big pump. And I remember paying him to safety wire them darn all them bolts.
Yeah.
Because he could do it, and he was rather fast at it. And I
Okay.
told him, I said, I sure would like to see you do that. You gonna pay me? I said,
One question I have on this is, of course, you had the test stand, and basically a skinless X-15 out there that you plumb in
Yeah.
the XLR 99 or the XLR 11s earlier in the program, and then of course there were times like the time when Scotty was down there and X-15-3 was blown apart. How often would a full aircraft be down there versus just hooking up the engine?
every time, it had to come down every time, because they didn't have any tie downs for it. That's where they tied it all down.
Yeah.
And every time they had an engine change,
Okay.
they would bring it down and have to do it there.
Okay.
If they have any heavy maintenance on it, they would do it there. If there was any question about how it ran last time, if there's any, quite a lot really.
Yeah.
I'd say they came down there quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now and then the engines themselves were just being tested. You could hook that up to the
PSTS.
tankage down there,
We
right?
could actually move it, the PSTS, we could actually move into the shop, put the engine in it, and run it back on the rails. It was wheeled unit, so we could
Nice.
put it all the way in the shop.
Yeah. Any idea of what percentage it was just engines versus the whole aircraft, like 50-50 or anything like that?
Well, I can honestly say they didn't want to put unnecessary time. The engines were only good for 1 hour. And so they didn't want to put any more time on them than they had to.
Yeah.
So I would say that probably an engine acceptance run would probably last 3 runs. Probably doing those 3 runs, not more than 2 minutes did we put on them.
Okay.
So I would say that the only time that when they ran the X-15, they only ran it 1 time. As I recall, they didn't have to do 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
They just did it for a checkout, basically a leak check.
Yeah. Do they do a check before do an engine run check before each flight?
I'd like to say they did, but I'm sure they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there were times they didn't make that flight. I mean, they didn't make the test before a flight. But I couldn't tell you how often it was.
Okay. Yeah. And usually when you did the test, it wasn't a full duration run, like the full
No,
90
no,
seconds or anything.
no.
Yeah. What was a
I can
typical
never
run?
remember running a full duration run in Tessel.
Were they usually like 30 seconds or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yep.
That area? Okay. Yeah.
If they were going to train, new pilots would come down and they would be allowed to run because the throttle setup was in the Tessel was, they're looking at similar gauges and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
they could get to some kind of feel of when they moved the throttle what was going to happen. So couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blockhouse was a floating blockhouse, so it had styrofoam all around it, so you didn't feel anything through it.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard it.
You heard?
Even though it wasn't, it was
Yeah.
a lot of a lot of dirt on top of you. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was concrete and
Yeah.
stucco, you might say.
There were no direct windows outside?
No.
There was a periscope
Had a
system.
periscope.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used we had closed circuit television and a periscope. The periscope was not used very often. It was not used very often.
Yeah.
It was put in when the blockhouse was built. And about the same time the blockhouse was completed, that's when closed circuit television
Right.
was on
So
in
you
its
need it.
glory.
Yeah.
So we had 2 permanently set up cameras, as I recall, one on the right and one on the left, just in the engine compartment. And then we had one that we looked at the inlet to the main valve, as I recall, the seal, to make sure that that's where the major leak was. But,
Yeah.
and we could see the thing leaking if we had to.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a photo of somebody in the blockhouse using the periscope,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy, you'd swear it's a U-boat commander. He's
Yeah.
got like a slicker on, and he's got his hat on and stuff, and it's like, is this World War II or is this Edwards Air Force Base? Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, we had some weird pictures sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Guys took some weird pictures down there sometimes.
I bet I got one that you're talking about here. Let's see, where's the stand here? Ah, here we go. These are just copies of the photos so I can identify people, but everybody with their Chinese hats on.
That's Don McLaurin.
Ah,
McLaurin with that question mark there.
okay.
McLaurin, isn't it?
UREN?
McLaurin, Lauren. Yeah, he was the chief instrumentation at the PSTS.
Oh, okay. So what do they got around their necks there? Is that just their badges?
What's that? That's a CS,
Yeah, CS.
Civil Service.
Oh, civil
Yeah,
service.
he worked for
okay.
the Air Force, or
Okay.
Civil Service, yeah.
Okay, civil service. Now, yeah, this has it spelled McClarin.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Laurin.
Laurin.
Betty, isn't that on L?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
McLaurin. Okay, cool. Yeah. Is there anybody else here in this photo that you recognize? Yeah.
Duke Silver, good Lord. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
This was taken, in fact, that's the blockhouse right there. That's that's one of the TV, that was a remote TV there, and the periscope was here.
Periscope, yeah. Yeah, 1959, so that was early. But 59 dash?
Yep.
Yeah. Did they have a dash 99 down there that early?
Yes, we had that. We had the engine, we had the 101 engine, but we didn't have the flight engines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of.
Now, in the X-15 program, of course, transferred completely over to the 99s from the LR-11s, but then the LR-11s were also being used on the lifting bodies later on.
Yeah.
So, were you responsible for both?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They came out of the same shop. We did the 11s down there too.
Yeah.
That's Jerry Wilson.
I think all these came from Dave Stoddard. He's the one who identified most of the people on there so far.
Jerry Wilson was he was the chief of the PSTS at that time.
Okay. Now, are you in there somewhere?
I don't know whether this is me or not. It looked like me, but I'm not sure. God, it's so long ago. I don't
Yeah.
remember the hats. That's what I can't remember.
And I don't have the original photo with
Yeah.
me, so it's a little harder to see on the copy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anybody else that was there. But
Was Elmer Biggs there?
no, he was in the he was on the X1 program. That's Bill Wood there. Is the guy's name marked out or something like that?
Oh, yeah,
Does he
Bill
get
Wood.
Bill? Okay.
Yeah, he does have Bill
Okay.
Wood, yeah. Okay.
Bill Wood there.
Yeah, crossed out the first.
He was my counterpart in inspection.
Oh, okay. Any idea about how many engine runs you did over your career?
God. Oh. God, even one a month for 10 years is,
Yeah.
I'd say
Quite a
well
few.
over 100.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them. A
Yeah.
lot of them.
You were back at, how long did you spend at Reaction Motors going through the rocket school?
I went to two classes back there. We had a familiarization class that lasted 2 weeks, and that was in 1959. And then in 1960, they had a 1-month class for technicians and stuff to come back, the ones that were going to do the overhauling.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you were back there for the second class when the explosion occurred?
yes,
Second-
yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I take it by the time you got
Yeah.
back, everything had been cleaned up and,
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't take you
Yeah.
out to the stand and show you any pieces
No.
laying there still.
No, that was just, like I say, we found out about it at breakfast that morning, which was, 3 hours earlier than here.
Yeah.
So, and we were surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were surprised. At that time, they didn't know if anybody got hurt or anything.
Yeah, it's amazing that Scotty came out of that without a scratch or
Yeah.
whatever. It's amazing they were able to rebuild an aircraft
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, it was something else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, did you go out and watch the flights? Were there the flights in the local area? Could you go out and watch the drop?
Yeah.
And
We watched every one of them. I don't think I ever, if I was here, I
Yeah.
watched every one of them.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could always tell when they dropped and everything because,
Yeah.
first of all, it's we knew ahead of time where they were going. They
Yeah.
always dropped it overhead.
Yeah.
They didn't
yeah,
go out someplace and do it, but
yeah,
it was that was always a good day. That was always a good day.
all right.
Yeah. It and I don't think they didn't have that many bad landings.
A couple,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but not-
yeah.
For the times, for the number of times it dropped, and,
Oh yeah,
and nowadays, they drop a shuttle and it lands on the runway. Like this thing here, but this thing was a lead sled. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
it was when it came down, it was coming down, and there wasn't no go around.
yeah, yeah.
We watched the first flight when Scott Crossfield brought it in, and it was started doing that porpoising,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and we thought sure that thing was going to go down.
Yeah, he got real lucky. Just timed it just perfect at the
Yeah.
bottom of one of those
Yeah.
oscillations. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we thought sure that he was going to lose it.
yeah,
I thought sure he was going to lose it.
yeah. Now, when they did fly overhead, drop, and the engine would light off and stuff, could you hear the engine going off?
No.
Even? No,
It was soundless. You
still
couldn't hear
still
anything.
too hard
Yeah.
up, high up. Yeah,
Funny thing about that engine, you mentioned the noise that the first experience I had with the cone of silence was with that engine. That we would wander around the lake bed because the test cell was located right on the lake
yeah,
bed.
yeah.
And you could go out and walk around the lake bed, and we'd hunt for artifacts and everything else. Just have something to do, and waiting for them to run.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be back there and it ran or started, you couldn't know it. If you walk directly behind it, you can't hear it.
Oh wow.
And I was so just flabbergasted why I couldn't do that. And then one of the engineers would tell me, something about, well, that's what they call the cone of silence.
Wow.
But I could never ever, I still don't figure it out. We always did it.
Yeah.
We would go back there, and if anybody knew or anything like that, we'd take them back there, when it was running. And
Wow.
no,
So you could look and see the engine running
Yep.
right at you.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. About how far would you be?
a long way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean several hundred yards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We weren't going to get a chance to get hit by any rocks or anything like that. Those they had some big deflectors there though that were pretty good. We always thought that when the engine was going to run and if the flame was long enough, especially in the nights when you can see it, it would almost go back and touch those deflectors.
Wow.
We thought maybe they would melt, but they never did. The concrete kind of gave way, but
Oh yeah.
they finally had to put some kind of ablative
Yeah.
concrete so that
Oh okay.
regular concrete just wouldn't hold up to it.
About how far to either side of directly behind would you have to go to be able to get back into the hearing range of the engine?
Yeah, I bet there must have been an area there about 50 feet that you could walk back and forth and not.
Okay,
But
so a few
it
degrees,
was,
yeah.
it was kind of it wasn't a wide cone. It was
Right.
just a very narrow cone there. But
Yeah.
like I say, I was always amazed.
Be
Every
an
time I
eerie
went back there, I
feeling.
was amazed.
Very eerie feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. See all that power down here? It's like something wrong here. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah. So now, did you ever have to go up to any of the lake beds when they had emergency landings or any
No.
of that? No.
First of all, I'm not a very strong person. I don't like to go to crash sites. We've lost some airplanes that I have, even when I got out away from the rocket propulsion, but and they don't need me. I'd be probably the worst person in the world to go to a crash site, I'll tell you. So I just never went. Never went. I never did go see them after they crashed either. I did. I know when Mike Adams was killed out there, I just really, guys would go down and look at the airplane, I said, not me, kid, I don't want to go down there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stored in one of the hangars there for a while during the
Yeah,
investigation.
it was in there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. Do you know about the Mike Adams Memorial that just went up a couple of years ago? Do you know?
I had heard about it, but I
Yeah.
hadn't.
It's really nice. It's up, north of Ridgecrest. It's right where the aircraft came down. It was actually an Eagle Scout project. Some Eagle Scout was, part of your Eagle Scout badge. You have to do a community service thing. And a guy in Civil Air Patrol, his commander or whatever, suggested this thing. I guess he was a fan of the
I'll be
X-15.
darned.
So it's a real simple monument. It's a concrete cylinder that comes up out of the ground, and then it's like sliced off at an angle, and there's a plaque in there. The plaque is actually made out of Inconel X, the same as the X-15, and then it's all etched in there about Mike and what happened and stuff. So it's very nice. He did a very good job of it. That's one of the things I'm actually doing in my book, is that one of the appendix will be like an X-15 travel guide to go out, tell people how to get out to like the emergency lake beds or the radar sites, or to see the Mike Adams Memorial, places like that. So it's one of my things I've been doing, is traveling to these different places and writing down exactly, you got to go this many tenths of a mile and make a right and go down here and whatever. And, yeah, it's very interesting. It's like I went up to Mud Lake, which was one of the most used emergency lake beds, and it's outside of Tonopah. And I know I got some directions from people. It's like, hey, you go down there, and you go down, and you can see the lake bed way off in the distance there, and you make this right off the main highway, and you go down. It's only about 15 miles on this dirt road. And it actually took me 2 trips to do it. It was 34 miles on this dirt road. Oh, man. And I've got a little Honda Civic out here.
Yeah.
I drove on this thing. I was pretty amazed that I made it back. So
Yeah, they had to they had to tow a couple of them out of there,
yeah.
trailer them out.
Oh, yeah.
In your travels, have you talked with Chuck Baker,
No, I haven't.
Charlie Baker?
No, I've heard the name, but no, I haven't.
Charlie
talked.
Baker was the crew chief of Mike Adams' airplane.
Okay.
He quit right after that. He quit, he quit the Air Force. I mean, he quit everything.
Yeah.
Opened up a service station, as I recall, up in Greeley. And then he came back. A guy by the name of Barnett talked him into coming.
Larry Barnett?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talked him into coming back, and he was on. He worked with the shuttle recovery people for a while, and then I think it was the last time. Well, he was over here for Walt's 50th birthday, wasn't it? That's the last time I saw him.
That was a while back.
Yeah. But I was. I don't. It really upset him.
Yeah.
But he.
I can imagine.
Yeah. If you ever go to the Smithsonian, you see Charlie Baker's name on the, usually on the 15 there at the Smithsonian
Oh,
as a crew chief.
okay. Yeah,
In fact, a lot of their names are there, so.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm trying to do with my book too, is also to, get to the people who were not the ones that you normally talk to. It's not the pilots, not the managers. I want to talk to the guys, like yourself.
Yeah.
It's people like you that kept the program up and running and stuff. You did the day-to-day work and stuff, and then you made sure everything was perfect. And then the pilot would go out there and, he'd be the one written up in the LA Times or National Geographic or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you go to ride one of them things, you deserve everything you get, I guess. I just, it's like riding a big skyrocket, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but,
Do you ever want to do something like that yourself?
no.
No?
I really, they couldn't even talk me into taking flying lessons. Not that I like to fly,
Yeah,
airliners,
yeah,
but I have no desire to go in a small airplane.
yeah.
And I don't like helicopters, so,
Ah, no.
yeah. I know we lost it. I was on the F-104 program, which had a rocket engine in the tail of it.
And F-104,
Yeah, it's down there at the test pilot school, one of them, you
Yeah.
know. Well, we lost one of those airplanes with Chuck Yeager.
Yeah.
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 But at one time, before that, we had lost the chamber. The rocket had blown off,
Yeah.
blew the chamber off. No one ever did find out why it did that. And they wanted us to go up and with them with the helicopters and just go over the quadrants and try to find that chamber. You know,
Yeah.
we never did find that chamber, by the way, and we never did find out why it blew up. But which kind of bothered us. But
Yeah.
it's,
Hey, were you responsible for the rockets and the NF-104 also?
Yes, I got the NF-104.
What was the rocket engine in the back of that?
it was a North American NA-25. Oh God, call a friend of mine, ask him the rocket engine number for the
On the 104?
on the 104.
You expect me to know it?
Of course, you're the expert here. Yeah.
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 I can get it. A friend of mine, he lives up in
okay.
Reedley.
Well,
Walt was he was one of the main mechanics on the PSTS.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he stayed with them for, when did he leave? About 65, I guess it was, something like that. And went to work for North American. In the employment office. He wanted to be in personal services, so.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that went up in that area. I mean, Grace Walker lives up in Reedley and stuff. And you know Billy Furr?
Yeah,
Yeah, he lives up there in that area. He's a little further north of the mountains up there. But yeah, it's a nice area.
well, a lot of them, Gibbs over here,
Oh yeah, Byron.
Byron Gibbs.
Yeah.
Byron Gibbs, Walt Waterbury. I don't know whether Billy Furr was in that much time. They used to go to college at Reedley,
Oh.
and that's how those guys all met, you know.
I see.
And they all kind of intermingled, and finally all of them came down here one at a time,
Uh-huh.
got jobs and everything. Jack Russell is the one that got
Oh.
Walt Waterbury his job. But too bad you couldn't have interviewed him. He and his wife they probably know more about the individuals
Oh, yeah.
ever since the X1, better yet, even since P-59, because Jack came with the P-59, but
and Ruth has a memory. She could tell you
Yeah,
names
God.
of places and.
she's about 80-some years old, but gosh,
Yeah.
she's got a steel trap for a mind, nothing gets out.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Well, I talked to Jack Russell briefly, long time ago. Yeah, never sat down and got a full interview with him or anything like that. And he never was directly on the X-15 program, as I recall.
He used to just drop master.
Yeah.
He dropped them
Oh.
all, just about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he dropped 90% of them.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, he did. And he was, Dave Stoddard took his place in the engine shop
Ah,
when
okay.
Jack retired.
Okay. Okay.
Ruth might have a lot of pictures and things too. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'll talk to Dave some more too. I'm seeing Dave later this evening too. So.
Yeah, he's probably worth a wealth of information too.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been helping out. Say like these pictures I got all these photos that show these groups and stuff, and he's really been helping out on filling in the names on that. He's got me some films which are pretty interesting. So he's been very, very good to work with and help me out, put me in contact with you, and I'm interviewing some people up in Tehachapi tomorrow and stuff. So he helped me put me in touch with that. So, yeah.
So, there's two guys up there.
What's Jim Townsend and
Jim Townsend?
and Dean Bryan. Yeah.
I don't know Dean, but I do. Jim.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if he's okay, he's worth a wealth of information
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I'm talking to him at noon tomorrow, so.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. You tell him that I said hello.
I will definitely do that, yeah.
He was, and ask him when he's going to go gold mining again.
Okay.
Oh, God. He used to, he and I and, well, a lot of us from the test cell
Oh,
area.
Wilman?
Yeah, we used to go gold mining
Okay.
as a relaxation.
Ah.
And we used to have more fun. More fun. But
Where'd you go to?
we had, most of it was done at Christmas Canyon, which is out on in the Navy weapons range out of
From China Lake?
China Lake.
Okay.
And we all built dry washers from
Yeah.
one of the guys down at the test cell, Wilbur Hatch. He's gone now. But he had a dry wash that he used to go gold mining with when he was younger. And we copied it. I don't know how many dry washers we made. But, and then we would take those things out and we'd find gold.
Uh-huh.
We'd find gold. I still got gold that I've found that I keep.
Is your last gold wash over at the hotel,
No, I gave to the museum.
the museum there?
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Local museum, no, not,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Western here, I'm here in
Western
town.
Hotel, but yeah. it is
They got an old folks museum here. Guys, been here for 1,000 years. I
Yeah.
guess. So I gave it to them. I had entered it in the fair and then I gave it to them because
Uh-huh.
what the hell do you do with a gold machine? You can't put it in your front room. Well, you could, I guess, but
Yeah, take up a little bit of
Yeah.
room there, yeah. Stick it on the wall. Yeah.
well, we had a lot of fun together. And most of the people that went with us were the Reaction Motors representatives always went with us, gold mining.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know where any of them guys are now either. Bill Arnold went to work for Aerojet up in Northern, up in Sacramento, but I don't know whatever happened to him after that.
so they always had representation from Reaction Motors out
Yes,
at Edwards?
there was always
All the way through the end of the program?
Yeah, always had a representative there.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were kind of a godsend because they would, if there was something coming up for a change or something like that, they would know it ahead of time, and they would prepare us. And if we ever had a problem, I don't think I ever went to one of those representatives that I couldn't figure something out, that they would tell me what was the matter.
So did they actually do any of the hands-on work on the engines or just
No,
consulting?
just consulting, yeah.
Okay.
They would be involved in the reducing of the data
Uh-huh.
to make sure that that was all okay. But they would leave the maintenance and stuff up to the people, up to
Yeah.
the hands-on people, and they would do it. But they would be very close.
Okay.
They were
Yeah.
always on hand. If you never needed one, you didn't have to go very far.
Yeah, well, that's good, that's good. I wonder if any of them are still, I know Reaction Motors, I think, was bought by Thiokol.
Thiokol Chemical bought them before the.
Yeah,
I guess you might say that. I think maybe that's about the time that Reaction Motors actually sold to Thiokol Chemical.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the LR99 engineers went off and worked there at Brigham City. They're on the SRBs or any of that kind of.
I don't know.
program.
I don't know. I know one of them, two of them, Frank Danis went down to Hughes. God, he's probably dead now. Hell, he was 90 years old then. I can't remember the rest of them. Bill Arnold, I think, is up in Sacramento, but I saw him at the 30th reunion,
Yeah.
and that's the last time I saw him.
Well, hopefully it'll be a big event for the 50th in
Yeah.
3 years, yeah. That's when my book's hopefully gonna be
Yeah.
out, so I'll hopefully be there and everybody will buy my book that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I should be giving them all away, all the help I've gotten from everybody. It's been great.
Well,
I've done about, after this weekend, or this week, I'll have about 60 different people I've interviewed. So it's
boy.
quite a few.
That's good.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I can't, nothing, there wasn't anything outstanding on the program as far as I was concerned. The thing that sticks in my mind, though, it was, like we talked about before, it was one big family. I like to say, if they'd have laid me off, I'd have come back to work the next day. I didn't know what else to do, and it's something that I really liked.
Were there obviously the big mishap with the engine explosion down there? Were there other problems that occurred? You know, what type of problems would occur during engine runs? Were they usually pretty smooth?
Well, yeah, they were. The PSTS, unlike the airplane, had a lot of leaks in it. We didn't have any airframe around it, so as long as the thing was leaking and they didn't get together, we were in pretty good shape. But they weren't hypercolic or anything like that, so you didn't have to worry about it. But we could stand the things leaking. Liquid oxygen could leak, and we could have some ammonia leak, but you didn't want much of that because the aroma around you is really, it's terrible. Hydrogen peroxide leaks you couldn't stand. You had to get them sealed up.
Yeah.
But they were basically they were pretty good. We would have lines break, and that's one good thing about the representative. As soon as a line, if we had a ruptured line or something like that, that's the first thing they would get onto, is to find out why it did break. So we usually didn't have any two-time failures. If it failed one time, usually it was fixed and they didn't have the problem again. The hardware itself, I thought, was extremely good. To have an individual valve fail was usually unheard of. It really was. If it was an electrically operated valve, then the thing probably had, it was a broken wire or something like that. Most of all those valves were air operated or helium operated, so which was a positive force. They would operate pretty well. But so we really didn't have any bad failures, I want to say. Main thrust chambers, we used to have cracked injectors, but we could live with a lot of cracks. And we did live with a lot of cracks. None, they knew pretty much how much they could stand, engineers did, so they would let it go as long as they could. The chambers themselves were coated with I think they call it a rock-eyed coating. So it was sprayed on, and the chambers themselves were made of nothing but tubing, like 3/8-inch stainless steel tubing that was all welded together and shaped finally to give the nozzle its effect and everything. Well, the throat of those things would have wear through, and it would get holes there. So we had some of those leak quite often, but we could live with those too. We did live with them. But as far as the hard, I would think that it was an extremely reliable engine.
Would you say the 99 was more reliable than the 11, or the
Yes.
11 more reliable?
Yes, I say so, yes. Even though it was around 60,000 pound thrust mark compared to 6,000 pound.
Yeah.
Reaction motors, that small engine, well, they didn't have the materials. They never had the welding technology. They didn't even have the inspection capability that they had for the 99.
There's what, about 10 years between the development of the two of them?
Well, the X1 came out probably the
Actually,
first,
that's right. Well,
back in
15,
'46.
yeah, that's right.
So it was
Like
quite a
15
while.
years,
I know we X-rayed. We did on the 99 engine. We did a lot of X-raying, and but on the 11 engines, we hardly ever X-rayed chambers. And we X-rayed them a couple of times, and we stopped doing it. It scared us.
Oh, yeah.
And reaction motors really, they looked at them, and they knew what was happening, but the things still worked. But, oh man, they were getting, their heads were all warping and everything, and we just stopped watching them. It was just scaring us because we were buying them off anyway, so why do it? But it was a good engine, but they lost chambers off of the 11's engines too. So.
When you did test runs with the actual aircraft down there, who was the person sitting in the cockpit? Was it usually one of the pilots that would come down?
I think the pilot was always in it. I don't
Okay.
think I've ever, I've got to say that the pilots were always in it,
Okay.
a pilot.
Yeah.
And there was usually another one standing by because they kind of worked like in pairs, but only
Okay.
one of them was in the cockpit.
Okay. Can you tell me anything about the pilots, any of your interactions with the guys down there when they were working on the aircraft? with
No,
you?
you know, we didn't see them very often. The only
Yeah.
time they would come down, if the airplane wasn't down there, NASA would send a pilot down maybe to operate the test cell or the throttling of
Yeah.
when we're doing our engine test, just to familiarize them. But not if the older pilots that have gone through it,
Uh-huh.
we wouldn't see them again.
Okay. Yeah.
At one time, I thought that we almost had a feud going. I didn't know why. I still don't, and I never have been able to understand
Yeah.
why the divorce occurred between the airframe people and the engine people. I don't. It seems like NASA was in charge of the program, I thought,
Yeah.
but there were a lot of Air Force pilots, and of course all the engine work being done by the Air Force. I don't know how they came up with that arrangement. It was kind of a unique arrangement, but there was some duplication of duty because when I shipped an engine down there and I told them it was okay under a yellow tag, they'd get it down there and then they would go through the thing, and of course if they found anything wrong, I'd hear about it naturally, but it was all constructive though, because they never found, if they told me something was wrong, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was no animosity because it was Jack Russell's shop and my shop got along good. At that time, Dick Cox was the chief of the quality assurance down there, I believe, and I was the chief at my end. So we always worked together. And, we didn't have any problem, but I never could understand why it was divorced that way. Never could.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's something you don't hear of too much with the X-15 because everybody was always working together. And, yeah.
The X1 program was the same way. We did all the X1 engines. But I say we did all the X1 engines. While I was there, we did. But prior to that, I'm not sure who did the, like when Jay Yeager made his flight, I'm not sure who did those engines.
Yeah.
It could have been NASA did those engines too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Okay.
but it was I thought it was a thrill. That was the most enjoyable time of my life. I don't think I could ever have found a better job doing anything. I still think about it and I'm amazed I was part of it.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
Do you still watch launches like of the shuttle whenever we do launch the shuttle and think, that, because of work on the X-15 that helped make that possible, that you were part of that?
I usually try to keep track. In fact, my son, he lets me know when they're going to launch out of Vandenberg because he keeps up with all launches.
Yeah.
He knows where they're all going, so
Yeah.
he lets me know everything, and we'll get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning if we know it's going to go, and we look out the window here and you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Does he work up at Vandenberg?
No, he works at down by the airport, but
Oh, okay.
but he keeps track of them.
Yeah.
He used to do the commercial. He was on the commercial side of the house, so he's been to Russia, watching. They launch satellites out of Russia, and they launch them out of French Guiana down in South America, and then he goes all around.
Yeah.
He just
Sounds like a good job. Yeah.
he and I have both got one thing in common. He's doing something he loves to do.
Yeah.
And not sure doing what I love to do. I did, but anyway. So
Yeah. That's the way it should be with anybody. and stuff.
I can't. I feel sorry for anybody
Yeah.
that is working and don't like their job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All these
but
people
there's
that
millions
complain
of people
and
out
stuff,
there doing it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know I was in the corporate world for a long time, finally gave up and started my own little company and stuff for my writing and my photography, and never been sad about doing that. May not be as rich as I could have been or whatever, but I don't care.
Ah,
As long as you like what you're doing,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all that matters when you wake up in the morning.
I tell you what, they could have given me $10 million and I wouldn't have traded back
Yeah.
my experiences with the 15 program.
Yeah.
It was just a great opportunity at that time in life, especially for me. I was young,
Yeah.
full of crap, but and you had to be a little bit to get with that. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, also being out here at Edwards, you may be 50 miles from Hollywood, but you're still in the middle of nowhere.
that's right. That's right.
Definitely a different world when you
Yeah.
come over those hills, that's for sure. Yeah. I'm sure you had a lot of hot days out there. Was there differences on engine performance a lot between, the summer and the winter out there? Could you really see the difference? Or?
No, I don't. The only thing is we didn't like to, and we had a shelter that we could put over the PSTS. It was on railroad rails, and we could push it up over, to keep some of the wind out and everything like that. But it was usually so much trouble to push that shelter over there and close it up. Just the heck with it. So we'd get out there,
Yeah.
But usually it was. I don't recall it ever being so cold or snowy or anything that
Yeah.
we couldn't work on the cell, because like I say, we could usually move the PSTS inside the big shelter
Uh,
and just close the door. And we had heaters in there that could melt you.
Yeah.
So we also had some coolers that could freeze you, but fortunately ran most of the time when we
Yeah.
needed them.
yeah.
But the weather was good. I didn't. Engine performance was all the same.
Yeah. How did, you,
Go ahead.
how did you feel when the program came to an end? Did you think it have more life in it, or was it about time to close it down?
No, I thought they were going to go more. I really did. This thing, they talk about the scramjet that they're working on now, And that's why the 15 really, in my opinion, the 15 was built to check the scramjet out.
Yeah.
And, when you start to look back 40 years and here we are, we're getting into it now, and they talk about something new. I think, good heavens.
Oh yeah.
But I guess, I don't know why they didn't modify the 15. I guess the shockwave coming off the tail of the 15 is what burned up scramjet,
Yeah.
I guess. But it seems to me they could have done something. But,
Yeah, they would have fixed it. Once they found it, they would have fixed it. So.
I guess they thought it was a high maintenance vehicle.
Yeah.
The 15 was. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, why'd they get rid of the Apollo when they were well on their way, Yeah, it's hard to figure them out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go back to the moon today. We threw it all away.
Yeah.
It's
I don't.
a sad situation. Starting to move forward again, but
Yeah.
starting from scratch. Yeah.
I'd like to have seen it continued on. I'd like to have seen them get that last flight in.
Yeah.
I know we watched them out there and we couldn't figure out whether they're going to go or not,
Yeah.
because we could see the loading area was right down next to the PSTS, so
Yeah.
that's where they loaded it. So we could see it and watch it all the
Yeah.
time. What they were doing, we'd go over and talk with them, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
Were you down there the day that it snowed the last attempt?
yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, there was enough flurries. I guess, yeah, in reality, I guess they shouldn't have gone that day, but I sure would like to have seen it.
Okay.
I'd like to have seen them just take the darn thing up.
Yeah. One last time.
Good Lord, yeah, she'd go and fly around the block, will you?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice to have that even too. Everybody always said, why did they only do 199? It's like, well, let's give you the whole story. Yeah. They tried.
We thought that we would get we'd get the dinosaur program.
Yeah.
And we thought we would actually, be back into business with the dinosaur program.
Yeah.
But then the Gemini, they decided to go with it rather than dinosaur. So
Yeah.
anyway, we didn't do that.
Yeah. So many programs since then.
Oh yeah.
Design them, even cut some metal on some, and then they just go right down the tube. How much money has been wasted on all these
Sure.
programs that never got anywhere? We could be on Mars by now with all that money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these, I know they go around, they get all these consultants to look at all situations in order to try something. And when I first moved into this valley here, they were talking about Well, it won't be long. You won't have to worry about old Route 6 because they'll have the tunnel through to Pasadena.
Ah,
I said, well, that was 50 years ago. I
Yeah.
said, God damn it. Well, they're still talking about the stupid tunnel.
that would be something. Yeah. Probably talk about putting in like maglev between LA and Vegas and all those kind of
Yeah.
things. I still got an article out of the LA Times, mid '60s, I guess, something like that. It was they were going to create a tunnel system for basically a hypersonic tunnel, monorail type system that would be a maglev type system to go between LA and New York, in like 30 minutes. And I was like, yeah, we'll probably build this. It'll probably be about 20 years in the future before we build it and stuff. I was like, well, that was now 30 years ago.
200 years.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, they're going to evacuate all the air and stuff, and you just, yeah.
I think it's a good train system. But they got to decide to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think just somebody's got to say, well, let's do it, But no, well, let's study it a little more. All the money you spend on the study, you could have built it.
Yeah.
Even if it had failed and thrown away, you wouldn't have lost anything.
Well, I think that characterizes the era of the X-15 versus what we're in now and have been for so long, is that, look at the lifting body program, very specifically, was just, hatched in somebody's garage,
That's
literally.
Right. Yep.
And never approved by headquarters or anything like that until well into the program. They built the whole prototype without headquarters even know what was going on. And a lot of stuff with X-15, same kind of things. I mean, things that you did on the X-15 program that would be unheard of today because you just went out and did it. And now nobody wants to do it. You're so risk averse. You can't take chances. Got to go through studies and get it cleared and what have you. And nobody gets anywhere then. Yeah. Yeah, look at the progress we made. X1 through the X-15, it was just going up. It would have been the X-20 all the way to orbit, and then we've just been sitting here like this and whatever for so long. Yeah, yeah. I mean, my gosh, we went from Wright brothers to the moon in 66 years, and yeah.
I just really feel that they spend too much money on the studies
Yeah,
rather than putting this thing into the hardware. I just don't know
Yeah.
why they do it, but.
yeah,
And there's a lot of money out there. Most of it wasted, but
yeah.
not by us.
Yeah.
But I just really, it really bothered me when they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I really wish they had kept the thing going somehow.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I say, I felt the same way about Apollo.
Yeah. Well, on the X-15 program, one of the problems too was the fact that we're going to do the follow-on program with the Delta Wing version, but the aircraft that was going to do that was Aircraft 3.
Yeah.
So I guess for some reason they decided the other two aircraft weren't worth doing it to or something. It's like the heart went out of the program after Mike Adams was lost, and and you can sort of see that. But,
Yep.
yeah. But it's like the other things too, like with the shuttle and stuff too. After Challenger and Columbia and things like that, if you stop the programs when you have the accident, then what's the purpose of what you've done, and what's the purpose of those people dying in the first place
That's
if
right.
you don't pick up and learn and go forward?
I think they all agree that they probably lost on the shuttle program. They probably lost less people than they thought they were going to lose.
Yeah, and the biggest problem though with the shuttle too is when you think about the number of flights, it's bad that we've lost 14 people on the shuttle and stuff. As you say, we probably could have expected a lot more. I mean, the first time we've ever launched a manned rocket without any testing beforehand, except for ground tests and stuff. All Apollo Saturn V's were always launched unmanned. A couple of flight tests before they put people on board. It's like, we're not going to put people on there. Shuttle, they certainly did, so it's lucky we got through the first flight. But the other thing, of course, that was bad about Columbia and Challenger was that in the end, you look back and it was, they were preventable.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that nobody had any idea. They knew what was going on. They had warnings and they let it go, and people died. If they just would have listened to the engineers and what have you.
People are funny.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And when you get a group of them that are funny, it's really bad.
Yeah, they're called politicians, yeah. Yeah, Congress.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I certainly appreciate your time and stuff this afternoon. I appreciate the stories.
I enjoy talking with you. Too bad I gave all my artifacts away.
Well, it's good they're up on display there,
Yeah.
and hopefully it's going to be more open to the public again. And say
Yeah.
they are now running the tours and stuff back out there at NASA, and so you know you
Oh,
can
they're
get
running them again?
Yeah, so you can't get out there to the facility again. You can't see the museum. I always look at that museum out there, and then you go back to some place like Wright-Patterson, where the Air Force Museum is.
Yeah.
And it's like that museum is the one that should be at Edwards. I mean, all those aircraft at Wright-Pat,
Yep.
most of them flew out here.
Yep.
This is where it all started. So be nice to have that museum as accessible. Plus, I look at it too as like some of the aircraft. It's like the B-70 was the remaining B-70 was out there, and for a long time it was outside. So the weather was really getting to it. I mean, I remember standing under that B-70 and the rust is just dripping out of it and stuff. And, you know, that's the kind of thing just doesn't happen out here in the desert.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No, this is an ideal place to store airplanes,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
if you're gonna store them.
Yeah, yeah. Look at the boneyard down at Tucson and places
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Oh yeah.